Geeta.
It's Oscar.
And Eli.
And this is Guest with Geeta. Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Guest with Geeta. Today is going to be another very special one because we have Jessica Guest. We have Jessica Guest on because her last name is Guest, and we had to get her on here for another reason than just her last name being Guest, which is very useful for this episode. But we're talking about Southernaires today.
Yes.
What do you say Southernaires is? What is Southernaires to you?
Southernaires is an early morning jazz group that there's 15 of us in there. We all get together early at 7:15 in the morning every day except for Wednesdays. And we just kind of hang out. We sing some tunes. It's good fun. We don't really compete in big competitions like the state choir does, but it's fun and we sing some jazz.
They are another very advanced group that we have, so it is an audition group.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on this group that we have because we have choir, we have orchestra, we have like our music stuff, but something that meets before school is not as common, I'd say. That's another thing I had to ask. It is an audition group. It's pretty advanced. What would you say to someone trying to make the group for future years? Because you're a senior now.
Yeah, so I auditioned for this group my sophomore year. I was just a little baby sophomore. They just brought back the group because we got a new choir director fresh out of COVID. Some of the really important things for someone trying to audition for this group is you got to know your music. We are very often picking up new pieces and learning them very, very fast. So learning to read music and being good at reading music is a really great skill to have in Southernaires. Another good thing that's going to give you that kind of competitive edge if you're trying to get in is being able to improvise. There are definitely people in SARES who don't enjoy improvisation as much, who aren't as comfortable. But if you do have that extra kick of wanting to and being confident about your improvisation, that's going to get you a really good edge with denim.
I like that. It's also a lot of, since there's only 15 of you, there's a whole lot more of like solo opportunities and stuff because it is a jazz group.
Yes, very much
I've seen them perform a lot. Very lovely.
Thank
you can
you,
tell.
thank
It is, if you're in that group, if you make it in, you definitely deserve to be in there, which is another thing. What's your favorite memory from the group?
Favorite memory from jazz?
Yeah.
Something I love about jazz is not so much actually rehearsing, like don't come for me or anything, but I love the community that we get with jazz because as I do love being in the big choir and I love getting to know all those people, but having that smaller group makes it really easy for us all to kind of get together and connect better. And I think especially, we haven't really gotten there this year, I think, but last year we had a really tight-knit group of people who would always get together and watch movies or go out and support other people, and that's one of my favorite things about jazz.
That's really sweet. And also, before I forget, Oscar in the booth is also in Southernaires. He's just in the booth. Okay, cool. I had another question. What's something you wish the group like would do? Like, do you have something ideas, pretty much? Like a performance or an activity.
So this is a really hot take for everybody listening in. I don't like jazz music. I've been gaslighting myself for like 2 years into thinking that I like jazz, and I have not, that's a lot. I like some jazz, but I really don't like jazz music that much. And so when people are always like, oh, I wish we would do more jazz, I'm like, yeah, do more jazz music. But I disagree with that. So I think it would be really fun if we went to more competitions as a group. I think we definitely have a really strong group, and there's so few of us, it makes it really easy for us to travel.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a really fun thing for us to do, is just to kind of get our names out there more. Like, we have some really phenomenal jazz a cappella choirs here in Salem-Keizer who compete in these big competitions, and I think it would be fun if we got out there a little bit more.
Do you guys do any competitions?
We do a few. So we're performing at Solo Ensemble on Saturday, and then we have another competition in a couple weeks, and we do a lot of little things here and there, but nothing like nationally could be recognized, like just little things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to see future groups do?
I think that would be a great thing for our jazz choir. We are very new. We've only been here for 3 years. We're kind of getting established right now.
Was it only when Dunham came that she started?
I think there was a jazz choir beforehand, but especially like Dunham's never conducted a jazz choir before. This is her first jazz choir. And so we're kind of, getting our feet on the ground, kind of finding what Southernaires is after this new era of choir here at South Salem High School. And I think in a few years' time, I think it would be really great to see us going out and being nationally recognized like some of our Salem Kaiser choirs are.
Mm-hmm. What's your next performance besides like solo and ensemble?
For the jazz choir, our next performance will be March 14th. I believe it's up in Clackamas. If you're looking for a local performance, we probably don't perform again until May, maybe.
Okay.
And then our big performance is at the end of the year in June. We do this big jazz night. Everybody sings their own solo. It's out at a cute little vineyard. That's a great performance to go to.
That's the one that I went to last year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ankeny Vineyard.
Ankeny Vineyards. But I really like that one. All the solos are great. And it's like it's like knowing each person in the group a little more. And hopefully all the bonding will be locked in by then too. How do you describe that community? Like, you already kind of touched on this, but you already touched on it compared to the choir, but just like, because we've had people in the past that were only in Southernaires, like Jack.
That's true. Yes.
So stuff like that. Do you think it kind of expands the group, right? I'm like, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, no. I think the community is because I think there's something to be said for like coming closer through difficult things, and not like getting up at 7:15 is like the worst thing in the world, but there are definitely some days where it's like, oh man, none of us really want to get up at 7:15 to get here, but we all do it, and we all show up, and we all put in the work. And I think something that really brings us together is kind of that shared love of choir. There's a lot more like time to just kind of discuss what we do, and there's a lot of time to just be like, oh, like this piece, and oh, let's talk about what jazz means to us, because we have that smaller group. It's easier to kind of get us together in the mornings. And so the community is very much something that's like, because there's just so few of us, it's so easy to get to know each other much better. And we have so much, we have 4 hours a week together every morning before school, and then many of us were in other groups together, so it's kind of just like, we start our day with these people, and then we go forward with those people.
That's a good family to have.
It is. Yeah.
Do you have anything else? Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think there's anything else I have
perfect.
to add.
We have a new setup today. Technical difficulties with our old setup. So in case you guys were wondering why it's black in the background and the lighting might be a little off. So thank you so much for coming on. Guest with Geeta, such an easy name today. I really like this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.